How's your TT again, guys? So we did the clutch master on it last week, and intermittently the clutch pressure has been dropping on it, so we've kind of ruled out a leak. We've not been able to find any leaks on it. We've checked everywhere, we've put pressure through the system, we still couldn't find it. So we're just cracking on with replacing the gearbox now. We bled it all up again, kind of confirmed there was no leaks. Drove it for a day and a half. On the second day of driving it, you could just feel the pedals getting crap again, so we're just cracking on with the gearbox. And we see this one's had some repairs done on the pipes before, so we're going to try and leave. We don't want to touch these because they're well rotten, so we'll leave all those alone. We've unbolted the steering rack, we've locked the steering column inside the car, so it can't move, it won't spin, and it won't destroy the steering angle sensor. So you can see there, we've got the subframe on the stand. Once we get that off, we'll get the drive shafts out. Well, we'll get the other drive shaft out, the other one's on the floor. Same with the starter, same with all these bits. This kind of, I think that's protecting the engine, or it's stiffening up the body, one of the two. I'm going to go with stiffening up that engine, so see, we've got the starter out. So we've got it blanked here, and we know when it's blanked here we can't press the pedal, so there's no leaks from the pedal to here. This is all wet because of extensive bleeding, so really it can really only be from here to here to here, or this slave cylinder, which Volkswagen decided in their infinite wisdom, they're normally good to be honest with Volkswagens, they're going to put that inside the gearbox. A lot of manufacturers do that now, on the later models. They changed that up thankfully. So on the later models, you had this style, very similar, but it is different, but it is similar, and that one bolts on outside the gearbox. It's much easier to get to, you don't need to do all this to get to it. So yeah, so we get subframe off it, it's nearly off. So subframe off, left anti-roll bars in, ball joints are fairly recent as well, pads and discs are fairly recent on it as well, so it's had a few quids spent on it, this car. And we did replace the coolant temp sensor on it as well, because it's kind of intermittently not starting right, and customers complain the performance issues, so I'm assuming that's the fault. When I drove it the other day after replacing that temp sensor, try to see if the clutch was going to be okay, and obviously it's not now, but the car felt so much better. Performance was much better actually. My little boy said it was a flying machine, so he liked it. He liked this little car, so he normally prefers a van, but he did like this little car, so I did road test it, and through a couple of days just to see where this clutch is. All this fluid has been myself trying to bleed it and stuff like that, and the loose sulphur, obviously this is a Y-Reg car, so it's a 20-year-old car now as well, so lots of penetrating fluid, lots of lube into all these bolts and these subframe. It's not a little 4 bolts hod this on, so so if this was my own car, I'd probably soda blast all of that, and either have it powder coated again, or same in the suspension arms, I'd maybe poly bush it, change the 2 bushes for poly bushes, and the ball joints unbolt anyway, so powder coat them. If it was my own car, I'd maybe put this off the road and do some minor restoration. See the sills, I've got a couple of wee dings in it and stuff like that, and another one up there, so I'm going to be tidy up. But nah, we'll get this subframe off of there, we'll get that onto the stand, that gearbox, ratchet strap it on, move it back, change the bits we need changing, and then if it still does it, then realistically, in my opinion, it can really only be here to here, because everything else to there seems fine. We've got that clamped, we can't no longer press the pedal inside the car, so that's definitely not going to, no loss in any pressure to there for sure. And I've not had to put any fluid in it, but I'm assuming it's drawing air in there, so fingers crossed that we get the clutch out, and we find the problem in there. But even unblocked this little hole here, which is wet now, but I mean, I'd have thought with the amount of fluid that if it was leaking, once we cleaned that hole, it would all have ran out. So stay tuned.